Howdy, folks.
I'm Nim
Jickles, and this is the Ain't That a Bitch podcast. What are we on now? Like 36, 37? I don't know.
Wait. I got it.
The second episode of season 2. We can call it that. Anyways, William's back as Nim. He's going to be permanently a part of the show. Now I know we shut him down last time, but it's okay. He's here to stay now. And
Episode 34.
Oh, 34. Okay, it's episode 34, and these haven't been coming out very regularly on the week like they're supposed to, but that's fine. We're working on it. There's a lot of shit to talk about. So, where to begin? I mean, we should start with the biggest, right? William started wiping sitting down.
That's pretty big.
That's the biggest of the things. So this is a conversation. I mean, William, you got into the conversation because of a J Schlatt video. J Schlatt being a YouTuber who is, I guess, mostly known for being a member of the.
He's a streamer.
He's okay. A member of the Dream Survival Minecraft multiplayer.
That's not true.
Survival multiplayer Minecraft.
I don't think that's
server.
What he's known for actually at all. But anyways.
What is he known for?
Not that.
He's not known then.
He's known for his serial tier list.
If he's known to people, then it's for like the Minecrafty thing, isn't it?
Definitely not.
Who says?
I says.
You don't get to know. How did you find out about him?
Not from that. I got a Jackbox video recommended. It's a really good video.
All right. Well, regardless, anytime I've seen his name invoked outside of you, it's been who gives a shit. Okay, J Schlatt, just some guy who's funny, but he had a conversation about wiping, sitting down, or versus standing up, and it was a good point because I've definitely heard the conversation before, and I just kind of was firmly in like, well, I've always done standing up, and that's just what I'm always gonna do. I don't see why that would ever change. And William came to me today. He was very distraught, very heartbroken. It was hard for him to choke the words out, and he told me that
it felt like I was coming out. Honestly,
it was. I thought you were for a second. I was really confused because he was just sitting there on the couch next to me, Star Wars prequels in hand, and he told me, it's not making that up. Told me, Charles. Why don't you break the news actually to our audience?
I don't know what I said. I started wiping sitting down.
That you think it's better to wipe sitting down, and I was just like, William, I thought I knew you.
I thought I knew me too.
It was shocking to me. It was a little hurtful.
It's just I can't think of any reason why standing up is better other than that's what I've always done.
But that's what makes it better. But no,
logically, and I'm a logical person.
I just can't conceive of it. I've tried before, and I feel like, and I told you before, I feel like the tissue, the toilet paper wants to go dip in the water.
That's because you see, I wipe superior with the ball method.
That was the other thing. It was a train wreck, like
Nobody.
I was hit by a train today. I came to two realizations. First, that William very recently began wiping sitting down, and then after that, I was like, for years this has been kept from me. Is that he wipes using the ball method? If you aren't aware, William explained the balling up method of wiping your ass with toilet paper.
You take the appropriate amount of toilet paper. You kind of scrunch it up a bit. You use that clump, and then you put it in the toilet afterwards.
But how do you use it?
Well, you hold it from the back of it, and then the rest kind of puffs out. It's like a loofah. For your ass.
Okay.
Well, I use my loofah for my ass as well.
Wait, is that the communal loofah?
No, I have a purple one. Yours is green.
I use the purple one. I
It's okay. I haven't taken a shower in a long time. You're safe.
It just gets worse. I thought yours was the green one. But I never
so
used.
many discoveries today.
It's been a roller coaster, man. This is just like the late afternoon to evening. Well, I guess that'll be addressed at a later time. We'll put it to rest for now. In the meantime,
I put lots of soap on it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
My ass, not the loofah.
I'm hurting a little inside after all this. I don't know what has become of. We had this discussion, but it's still like fresh in my mind of. So William's explanation, why he wipes with the ball method, which he actually brought me a roll of toilet paper and demonstrated.
It's still sitting on the couch,
Yeah.
just waiting for someone to discover it. The ball of toilet doesn't look sus. What the toilet paper is sus. I'm sorry.
And and first I had to observe that it wasn't really a ball. But the reason it was so weird to me is because for about a year, probably less than that, as a young child, I myself used the ball method, because I was incapable of doing the fold over. But then I just was like, William, and you told me like, no one ever taught me, and I was like, oh my God.
I never was taught.
And I thought about it. I've known William. I always knew you were crippled in wiping your ass, as you said.
I thought you were gonna say like crippled in the fact that like when the doctor hits my knee, it doesn't move.
You don't have a reflex. I'm sure it's connected somehow.
I'm sure it is.
There's some relation between these two phenomenon.
I just don't like folding it. It just takes too long. I don't know the proper way. Well, no,
That's
like,
the
here's
thing.
The thing, though. I'm just better. All right, my way is more efficient. All right, you're just jealous. I know.
Maybe it's time efficient,
You
but
take,
it's
like,
not
10
resource
hours to
efficient.
shit. Everybody else does in this entire household, and I'm like some fucking superhero. I'm mutant JFK. All right, I am so crazy. I'm like
I'm
speed
mutant
demon when it comes to
JFK. You're
shit, all right?
Richard Nixon JFK.
Shut up. I'm the speed demon of shitting. All right. It takes 5 seconds for me.
Speed run.
I
Any
speed run
percent.
every time. I listen to Dream's music as well. It's in my head. I hum it on the toilet.
Do you
It
tweak?
hums.
Do you tweak with the RNG of your shits?
No.
Tweak
I would
the
never,
random
I would
volume.
Never. It's a luck.
Guess I'm just really lucky shitter. Oh man, that was another conversation we were having. But to finish this,
If anybody wants like to know how to shit like a pro, all right, I'll change your life right here. You shit once and then you're done. All right. Everybody, apparently,
You
you
can
just sit
control
down
that.
on the toilet and you just keep
Yeah.
shitting until it all comes out. What's wrong with you, you monster? You're wasting your time. The toilet paper. Alright, like you do the one big shit, the piece comes out.
Yeah.
If you really feel like there's more that's struggling to get out, you wait. But if the rest is just gonna slide out, you not like slide out, but like if you feel more in there, but it's not like a struggle to get it out, you get the toilet paper, you get a bunch of it in the lump, and you just like use it like sandpaper, and you just rub it down. You get rid of it, it's gone. Boom.
What?
Speed run shitting. You're welcome.
but then what about the rest of the shit? You just take another shit later?
What? No, it all comes out into the loofah of toilet paper. It all comes out.
The pieces of shit?
Sandpaper. It's not like if you have like a wood block, you can sand it down. It's like tiny little pieces. You don't even know it anymore.
Where
That's
is
why
it? Do you
that's why the
insert
clump
the
is-
ball into
No, I
your
don't-
anus?
No, that's why the clump is more effective because it's got a lot more friction. It's got the grip.
Are the little grooves gonna
it's got
slip into like
It's got
the little
grooves,
myofibrils?
and it just they're like little mini rakes and they all grab.
Is
and
it
then
does it
just
coax
takes it all
out the rest of the stool? What?
Well, it just gets like rubbed into the toilet paper, and then you throw it out once you.
How does it get rubbed?
do it
But what if
multiple
it's still like up in your bowels?
Well,
Isn't ready to come out yet. And it's gonna take like another couple minutes. That's why we sit on the toilet.
then you're just weak. You fucking loser.
Do you
That's
flex
not
your
strategy,
you
right?
flex your feces just out just
I don't know. I mean, are you just
Through
do you have,
will?
like, weaker buttocks than me? Are you weaker?
I don't know if
Your-
it's a weakness
your
thing.
anus?
No.
Because like It just
The
comes straight
sphincter
out.
doesn't control
I'm
anything
just
until it's
better.
already
I'm
at the
just better.
tip.
I'm just better.
No, I'm talking about what if it's up
I'm
in
better at shitting
there?
objectively. Number one on the.
You're better at objective shitting, or you're better objectively
at
at shit?
shitting.
What would objective shitting be? Like projectile shit?
I'm sure that's also a world record.
I've seen
somewhere.
some women can do that with like
in
golf balls.
in person. Oh,
Yeah, firsthand.
yeah. I mean, so can I.
So William wipes sitting down and with the ball method. I guess that was the thing of it. William explained it to me and I was like, I guess I see the merits. But first, I'm pretty sure it's way more wasteful.
Who cares? It's faster.
You
I'm
don't
not wasting
care.
my time.
I know you don't care.
Oh yeah, my paper is worth more than your time. You're such a sad man. You're a sad man if toilet paper is more valuable than your life. Hey, fuck. Why did that? A bear just fell on me. A drop bear, even. Jesus Christ! It's Build-A-Bear as well.
For those inclined.
It sings.
No, it doesn't.
It would have been funny. I'd like to hear it. It's out of battery.
Yeah, once upon a time. But the thing of it was just the fact that you didn't know how.
I didn't know how you did it. And I'm telling you, alright, people say nurture over nature.
Like
I
a
found,
robot.
No, it's 100% nurture. Alright, look at
Yeah,
it's
there's no
the small
nature
things.
for wiping
it's the
your
subtle
ass.
things. I think the fact that I was never taught how to wipe my ass is part of the reason why I'm the way I am today, alright? I think the fact that I was never told to fold my toilet paper is part of the reason why I open Christmas presents like a fucking animal and why I am.
But most
insane
people do
in
that.
every way.
But I feel like most people
it's
open
responsible
Christmas
for a lot
presents.
of my mental health and ability.
Now I really need to
Or
ask more
disability.
people. First of all, if they wipe sitting stand. Oh my god, there's 3 dimensions to this, William. This is more advanced.
There's
This is more
it's a
comprehensive.
fucking political
I was gonna say this
compass
is
of
more comprehensive than the political compass at this point. There's standing versus sitting. To be fair, it's a binary spectrum. I hope there's not really degrees.
shit. Yeah,
There's-
well, you can squat.
I guess there's standing versus sitting. They're kind of a spectrum, and then there's 2, which is front to back or back to front. You have to give them the option, of course, front to back always, but it happens. And then which method? Which because there's more. There's the fold, but there's different kinds of fold. There's the ball, and there's other stuff. What you're doing isn't really the ball. I don't think. I think the clump is different than the ball. You coined it yourself.
Yeah, it's the loofah.
But it's still just insane to me that you weren't taught this, because it was like, for me, the learning process was backwards. I learned, and you can't ever remember, right? But someone does teach you this. Your parents definitely have to explain this to you.
You watched Star Wars and you didn't know that Darth Vader. Well, sorry, better.
Not
One time you
necessarily.
watched Toy Story, you didn't know
That Zurg with Buzz Lightyear's father. That is a better example. I don't know.
Imagine
I don't know what that Star Wars twist you were going to talk about was, but the father thing
man,
really blew my
it
mind
did,
the
it
first
did.
time, and now it doesn't. Unfortunately, I'll never experience that
I
movie again
can't.
the same way.
That's one of those things, you don't get to really experience it after you've already seen it once.
Toy Story 2, absolute masterpiece of a film. But
What was the deal with the clones?
in
Anyways.
well, anyways.
Yeah, continue. Of course.
Oh my god, I just realized.
What?
When those movies came out, when Toy Story 2 came out, the movie where, Darth Vader does the I am your father was Star Wars 2. I always think of it as Star Wars 5. Empire Strikes Back, right? Episode 5. But
So
when
you're
they
just, stupid, right?
I just
Why
don't
do you think they did that?
I just don't think of
Toy
that
Story
perspective.
was meant to be a parody of Star Wars. Always.
the whole movie.
That's what it is. I mean, if you
Who's-
follow the themes.
What else is there? How is Woody
Friendship.
Luke?
Buzz Lightyear is Luke, and Woody
Woody
is C-3PO.
Oh, Toy Story is just Star Wars told from the perspective of C-3PO.
No.
Well, you led me astray. You led me along on this journey,
The
and
Slay Key is
for
Yoda.
nothing. The
I'm
Slinky.
not adding anything else to that. I'm just putting it out there.
Wait, he's got a name.
Who's Sid?
Wait, is his name Slink? Oh no, now I feel bad that I don't remember his name. Damn. Well, that's besides the point.
Slinky Dog, fictional character. My favorite character.
I guess they call him Slink. Wait, what?
Okay, Slinky Dog is a fictional character in the Disney Pixar film Toy Story and its sequels. He is a toy dog sausage.
Dash, you couldn't figure out the word slash.
He was voiced by the late voice actor Jim Varney in the first 2 films and has been voiced by Blake Clark since the 3rd. Simpsons fandom wiki. Slinky Dog. What?
Yeah, I bet the Simpsons had a whole joke in one of the episodes where they couldn't figure out his name and it was just Slinky Dog. I bet that's what that is. Or is it because Simpsons is owned by Disney now?
I was gonna critique the names of these toys, but I realized that it is a child who named them, and this is pretty much my toys' names.
Yeah.
Rex, the pig is Ham with 2 M's.
God, I didn't know that.
Andy's mom is named Andy's mom, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, Andy's dad is dead.
Sheriff Woody. His first name is Sheriff. What the fuck?
Oh my god, that makes sense. He is the sheriff around these parts. Well, regardless.
Honestly, Giggle McDimples is like a better name than the ones that Andy gave his toys or whatever.
Is Giggle McDimples one of the girls?
Yeah, it's one of the girls' toys. Mr. Prickle Pants. Like, these are just better names.
They actually aren't bad. Okay, I gotta give him that. Oh, that reminds me. We watched Lego Movie 2.
Yeah, we did.
Did I remember Lego Movie wrong, or was Lego Movie 2 actually just way better than the first one?
You probably remembered it wrong. I think maybe you didn't get the complex irony in the first one. You didn't understand.
I feel like the second one was way more self-aware about its jokes.
Maybe you weren't self-aware.
I don't know, William. I think Lego Batman movie might have changed it.
Maybe.
Because I remember watching Lego. It's possible I've gotten more of an appreciation for it, but I don't see how that's possible. Lego Movie 1 felt like it was more made for what you would think it would be. Whereas, like, Lego Batman movie came out and it was like, an adult can watch this and enjoy it. And then Lego Movie 2 came out and it's like, now that's the same way. It happens.
I get Will Ferrell mixed up with Pharrell Williams, and then I get that plus the Will mixed up with Will Smith.
Yeah.
And then I get that Will Smith mixed up with
Jaden Smith.
The voice of Donkey. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Eddie Murphy. I can never remember his name.
Will Ferrell is always linked to Eddie Murphy in my mind.
Oh, that's how you get there? That's awesome.
Truck, the Eddie Murphy car, and then I just think of 2 trucks having sex. So like Will Ferrell is.
And you're thinking about lemons all of a sudden.
Weird.
It's definitely I've definitely had the chain of from Pharrell Williams to Will Ferrell to Will Smith. I don't know about, and Eddie Murphy I do get mixed up with Will Smith occasionally just because of that one scene in I Am Legend where Will Smith was quoting Donkey because they were watching Shrek, and in my brain for a split second I was like, is he saying his own lines? Like, that's a different black actor.
And then he felt racist.
And then I felt
like
and
the
then
guy
I was
from
racist.
that interview where he said Sam Jackson was the guy from Ant-Man and the Wasp. What was that guy?
Oh my God, Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, that was great.
It's Sam Jackson. You can't. Didn't he call him Lawrence Fishburne? Like
no, Lawrence Fishburne was in one of those ad things, and he was like talking about the Super Bowl with Sam Jackson. He was like, "Oh, I saw you there," and he was like, "You did?" I remember doing Capital One this year, and he was like, "Huh?" And then he realized he was racist.
He did do Capital One, right?
What?
He did do. Oh, Sam Jackson did do Capital One, right?
Not that year.
Yeah, okay, but that at least makes a little more sense. I thought he just actually confused two extremely distinct African American actors. And everyone fucking knows Sam Jackson and his name. It's pretty really racist. Well, all right. That's. Did you see the guy that time? Sam Jackson's awesome. Do you see that time Sam?
Guy to say the N-word?
Yeah, he's trying to get that interviewer to say the N-word. That was awesome.
Sam Jackson's great.
I would say the N-word for Sam Jackson. That's the only context I'd say it in.
Like N-word pass.
That's the ultimate inward pass
from Sam Jackson.
Well, and Tarantino for some reason can give those.
He probably did.
Oh, I mean, well, Sam Jackson wasn't in Reservoir Dogs, his first movie.
He probably did.
He might have still gotten one. It's possible. So we were talking about wiping.
Well, that's.
It's just I just wanted to say because I don't know.
But what do you do after diarrhea?
Same deal. Wipe gently. You know what your clump method does is valid there. I can see merits to it. Again, to me, what's crazy is not more crazy. It's okay. It's not. It's not so crazy that you use the loofah method, but that you don't know how to do anything else.
I just wasn't taught, all right, and I do.
Which is crazy, right? Because that is part of potty training.
I'm a kinesthetic learner.
I know.
And I kinesthetically figured out that this is the most effective method.
Did you kinesthetically learn to wipe sitting down too, or did you have to be told that by Jay Schlatt?
Well, he kinesthetically taught me. He demonstrated.
He touched you? Did he demonstrate? Neither of those were good.
Yeah.
Anyway. I remember that was the first thing I was trying to figure out. I was like, "What do you mean, like the ball method?" He just went, "I'll show you," and ran out of the room. Don't. But he just came back with a roll of toilet paper, and then took his pants off.
Yeah.
But to me, like I was first taught, this is how you wipe your ass, like everyone in our family. As presumably, our parents like wipe standing up, right? So I learned standing up, front to back, folded. And I was young and dumb, and I guess my hands didn't work or something, just didn't have the fine motor. And like, I don't know. I couldn't do it.
I still can't.
It's like, what is it like? It's like one of those people who, it's like an adult who can't swim, or like a kid who never fell on their face as a kid.
Never watched The Simpsons?
Yeah. What?
Son of Adult Swim.
It's like... You've never made me question. Well, first of all, it's not. That's the worst part.
Yeah. When it's on Adult Swim, anyways, like the Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken, Dragon Ball Z.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Jesus.
That was like the first anime.
Bob's Burgers.
Family
Guy. Literally everything other than The Simpsons.
Every other one. Yeah, because Fox. Wait, is Family Guy not Fox?
I'm gonna hurt myself.
Am I crazy?
Yeah, you're crazy.
I thought Family Guy was Fox.
Then how come every time you open up Fox, it's The Simpsons playing?
Because no one likes Family Guy anymore. What would they do with both?
What do you mean? Family Guy's the funny show. Anyways, King of the Hill. I should have said King of the Hill.
You should have said King of the Hill. All those.
They never watched.
What are those? I mean, they're adult cartoons, I guess.
They never watched King of the Hill?
You've never before made me question, after getting over the fact that you said the wrong show, but you never before made me question more why it's called Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Is it like, what's the swim? Is it like better to come in the sink than sink in the cum kind of swim?
Kids surf. Adults swim.
What? How did you get that, and why are you right?
I'm just smarter than you.
You've done something here. William, there better be a visual for this, otherwise you can't. You have to visually show my mind being blown on a surfboard. No.
You know that you swim faster underwater?
So, but it's part of, it's like one of those kids, one of those people who never fell on their face as a kid, so they never learned to like use their hands to stop them, and so they're like, a teenager or something. Not a teenager, but like, like 6 years old or 7 years old or something. They just fall right on their face and don't even, like, they don't have that reflex. Like you said, you don't have reflexes, but you don't reflexively wipe your ass. But so I learned to fold, and I was just incapable of it. And then Dad was just like, yeah, all right, well, if that's too hard, you can start with the ball method. So I guess that is a valid thing that people do. And then after a few months,
Charles held like a baseball for some reason, because he's just
disabled. I would always take what Dad said very
before?
Literally. But Dad said you can ball it up, make it into a ball, and so I made it into a ball. The way I remember, it was absolutely a ball, and I would just hold it. And I think you're right. I don't think that was very effective. Why do people tell me things that they don't mean? See, this is the problem.
No one told me anything, and I figured it out.
Maybe I do have autism. I might be on the spectrum. I need to take an autism test or something. Are there like free autism tests? I bet I'm like just at the first start of the spectrum, because I can't lie. I can't get euphemism. I don't get like euphemisms.
What do you mean?
Well, because Dad, another time when I was really young, what does that mean? Do you have a banana? One time, I'm not hungry. One time when I was also really young, I needed to pee, and we were in a place where I couldn't pee, and I distinctly remember it was in China on a bridge, and Dad just went, hold it, and I went, okay, And so I grabbed my
Dude,
junk.
I'm the one who fucking argued with a teacher for like 10 minutes because they said I had an injury on my forehead, and I was like, you fucking dumbass, I only have one head.
Okay.
And then I came home and I was like, man, my teacher's so fucking stupid. I should be teaching. She said I had an injury on my forehead. Imagine that shit. Look, how many heads do you think I have? Jesus Christ.
It's just that
Needless to
you
say, she was
just sent this to me.
I did. See, as I
Try
sent
to
it, I was
labor
thinking,
upgrade
I probably
factors or
shouldn't
twice
send
as
that
effective
right now while we're
efficient.
podcasting. I was like, no, it's funny.
All right.
It's on screen though. You're welcome.
We're gonna talk about Twitter in just a bit. Oh my
Childish?
god, I forgot we have tragic news. We're gonna break that later. We're gonna break it to them gently. We're definitely gonna make this first half hour all shit talk. So, chop chop.
Shit.
But the problem for me was instructions like that. Okay, you had an argument with your teacher, great, but like dad would tell me to do things, and I would do it literally, and I would fail because I just ended up pissing my pants
I do that.
all over my hand. you hold your dick
Dude,
when you
Michael
need to
Jackson
pee.
style?
Oh, is that what he was doing? He just
That's
needed
what
to
he
pee
was-
during a
he was
performance.
literally-
You're like,
Man, poor guy. If only I knew.
we could have saved him. Is that how he died?
Well, Elvis was.
I guess that was all. Yeah. there's a connective tissue here. We're connecting some dots. I just don't know
Holy
where
shit.
we're going.
I mean, there's a conspiracy there, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
This is one of those things that speaks to you, but you don't know what it's saying.
But so I gotta finish this for fuck's sake. I'm just trying to say I used the ball method for about a year, and then I don't know what. I think I was using up too much toilet paper or something, and Dad just went like, you don't have to keep doing the ball thing. I forgot I used to talk to Dad a lot more. I haven't talked to him since
And then I was
2016. Yeah, and you were
Loser, and they
born.
never told me to wipe my ass.
They failed. I always knew that the parents were more casual with teaching the second child and raising the second child in general, and I know that was the case with you, but I didn't think they would neglect to
But
teach you how
little
to
did they
wipe.
know that failure is the reason why I'm faster than
That's what
anyone
made
else
you
in
so
this
strong.
household. I'm like Goku because again, I fail, I get stronger, I win, I get stronger. That video hasn't come out. Well, it probably has.
What? Oh yeah.
Typo.
No, I guess it'll have come out before this, hopefully. Yeah,
Epic.
because I should be able to finish editing it like tomorrow.
Well, it's in the iCard, maybe.
But yeah, so I had learned that a long time. You were never taught, but now you're saying that wiping standing up is better, and you've explained a lot of reasons why it's
No.
better, and other people have talked
Sitting.
about it. Sitting, I said standing. I just
Only
can't.
benefit to standing is that you get to. Like, the way that this sounds when you say it sounds a lot weirder, and the way I think about it sounds a lot weirder.
But it's actually totally normal.
It's something-
Unless it's something that just we do. That's the other thing. We can't hear.
Yeah.
I need to ask everyone I meet now. The first question I ask them is going to be, how do you
How
wipe?
often do you jump?
Again, we have the three things. that too. But that's for another time. Is that going to be the hypothetical?
Yeah, it's not hypothetical.
Hypothetically speaking, how often do you jump?
Hypothetical.
Let's say, hypothetically, for the sake of the argument, you jumped. When?
Wait, do people even know that hypo is part of us now?
I say it in the video, so if they've watched the video,
Okay.
they'll know.
Again, and the iCard. If it's not, leave a comment. I'll send you the link because I'm just that good.
I'll flag the comment. I'll remove I'll turn off comments.
I'll post it in
my God.
discussions on your channel.
William, remember when you were doing the thing of like in the comments below, and I was like, I'm just gonna turn off comments for this video. And that's still not a video.
That was actually over a year ago.
Big Crown is so good,
It's a great video, but it's like 5 hours of footage. We need to.
and Minecraft was about to be great. Except
Any
that
of
we
the
have to
3
reset
times.
every 20 minutes.
Any
Yeah,
of the 3 times.
every one of those world names was amazing, and
There's still
Piku Niku was great.
so many
Brothers
failures.
was good, but still probably the worst game recording we did other than Minecraft, and it's the only one that came out. I'm fucking pissed about that. Whatever, that's not the point. So William got found out. We got caught. We slipped up. We just made a mistake. He's off. William's out of the zoo Twitter. Discord.
I still follow the guy.
He hasn't blocked you yet.
Well, I mean, I didn't give them my Twitter. I gave them my hentai artist's Twitter. And they asked for it. And they didn't have any questions. There was no verification. They just said, send me your Twitter. And I was like, okay. And they're like, okay, cool.
Well, at least you did that. So you didn't make your Discord match your Twitter. That's smart.
Of course not. Of course not.
But okay, William, you got it. This is your story to tell. We last week, or okay, like a month ago now, but whatever. Last episode, William explained how he infiltrated a zoo Discord, because William's gotten on Twitter and he's deep in this shit.
Well, now
you've got a new thing now. Yeah, you got a new thing, but we're gonna get to that. Which Femboy's infinitely more wholesome, loving, perfect, complete your life.
It's so weird. Every time I see cat
Rather
girls
than
on my
animals.
timeline, I'm just like, why the fuck are you here? Give me men.
I was waiting for the punchline. There's a disconnect where I just wasn't sure. Well, that's the VTubers, William. That's on you. You need to drop them.
What?
Drop them hoes off.
The women?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Well, regardless.
I'm at the point where if like a VTuber that I watch turned out to be a man in a voice filter,
You wouldn't even be upset. What? Because they'd be funnier.
It would be funny.
Okay. Well, anyways, so what happened? Okay, so yeah, William, tell us what happened, because we know you infiltrated Zoo Discord and they found us out.
Yeah, they just found the video. I don't know why they were. I mean, I guess they dropped a fat sub. No, they didn't. They just checked the channel. Weird, kind of weird champ.
That's a terrible explanation. I'm gonna tell a story. This is what happened, guys. Again, like a month ago.
Guys, it makes it sound like a J Station video. You should definitely say that more often.
It makes it sound like there's more than one Isaac listening to this video. But Isaac,
If there's any zoos,
this is going to if the zoos are continuing to monitor this, is this like a domestic terrorist thing? Like, are we fucking on the zoo watch list?
I hope not.
I hope so.
What?
More views.
Yeah, but I don't want the zoos to be angry at me.
But okay, so here's what's happened. The reason William was kicked, the reason they discovered, was because in the podcast we talked about how it was, a ruse, and how William wasn't really a zoo. There's no question about this either, okay? Because we uploaded the video, and a couple hours later, what happened, William?
Yeah, it was posted
in Zoo Discord.
They
They posted the video. You
I
did?
just felt bad.
Wait, you just
I
left?
just felt bad about it.
Wait, you could have explained yourself. You could have asked them.
No. It's not.
Well, I mean, you were gonna get kicked eventually, right?
Obviously.
Okay, so they knew he was a fake, right? Okay, there's the level but the degree of scrutiny that they would have to go through. Do you know how comprehensive they would have to be?
I approve.
I mean, I have to be impressed. There's no way I could imagine anyone else doing it, because they know they're living on the fringes, Their survival. This anal specification is necessary to their survival as a species. Should they be extinct? That's an ethical dilemma for another day, but they want to survive, right? It's a fundamental quality of humans. They don't want to go extinct, but this is what they had to do to get this outcome, okay? Here's all the things that happened. William, you joined the Discord and immediately, right, disconnected.
Yeah.
You delinked yourself from the YouTube channel, which I can understand why you would be linked to the YouTube channel, and I'm amazed that you even thought to disconnect it, because we never had talked about the zoo thing. But you did. And that means, so they had to have checked, which makes sense, because they did go through a long, right? Because you went through an arduous, initiation process, right? Even as one of the core founding members of the server. But one of the founding fathers of the zoo. But so that means as soon as you joined, they had to have checked your Discord profile and seen that YouTube, which makes sense, but they saw it and saved it, right? I don't know if they no, they didn't subscribe, because I get notification new subscribers. I haven't had a new subscriber.
So sad.
I haven't had any.
Zoos will officially become a zoo endorsed.
But that's even more
channel
trouble, William.
you
That
guys
means they saved that link
suck.
somewhere, or bookmark the
Please.
fucking channel without subscribing. That's
Maybe
insanity.
they just saved the A tab.
Oh yeah, that was the other consideration, was that if we like, I could check the timeline of subscriptions, and I think, I don't know when exactly it ends up, but it would be like someone like Waylan or like Marius would have subscribed, and it'd be like they're actually the zoo. If Wayland turned out to be the real zoo, that wouldn't surprise me much at all. But
Holy shit, Wayland is sheep.
okay, but seriously, like, they had to see that link, be like, this could be important. I don't know why. It's a tiny YouTube channel. No one fucking watches it. And so they saved
what
it.
happened. They probably just clicked on one of the videos to see what was up, make sure.
And it got suggested.
And then because I'm sure they watch lots of zoophilia videos on their YouTube. I don't know.
Well, it's the most recent video.
Because of that, it would have, because both they already watched one of the videos and maybe they're just a regular viewer. They just watch all the episodes, and that's why it showed up in the.
I know there's not that many people on that Discord server, but that's like that was mini viral. Our video got posted in a group that has nothing to do with us, except you were a part of them somehow.
I'm just hoping that the femboys eventually can move over to our channel.
I'm
just waiting.
Are you waiting to join one of their Discord? And are you gonna pretend to be a femboy?
Pretend?
Next episode, Nim undercover femboy, and they'll love it. They'll be fine with it. Femboys are chill. But so someone had to save that channel or whatever. Still, Nim, though, they would have, what, were they checking it every day though?
I don't know.
They wouldn't have, again, a couple hours. It
must just come up in the recommendation.
It could have been chance, right? That is the one thing that could have been chance. Maybe that was the first or second or third time that they checked on the channel. Maybe they were only checking it, once a week or once every other week, and that just happened to be the day, just a little while.
Sundays,
But yeah, maybe they check weekends. But still, the exact day, only a couple hours after it was posted, of a YouTube channel that you destroyed the link to, as they could not have accessed that, and they immediately found. That's insanity, the amount of stuff that had to happen. They must have been, and I was just saying, like, I almost feel bad for them, that they must have been heartbroken. My first comparison was, because the original comparison was Death Note, right? And it was, I guess, you're Light and they're L. Wait, are they the good guys in this? Because you betrayed them. You weren't who they thought you were.
No. You had a better.
I did come up with a better one, but that was the original comparison. It was like.
Yeah, I might agree with that one, honestly.
That they are the good guys, and you just see them. But what did I change it to? I thought of a better compared to, what was it?
The Reservoir Dogs.
It's like Reservoir Dogs, if you've watched, where the whole big thing is like it's a heist. I guess they robbed a jewelry shop, and the whole thing is one of them is an undercover cop, and then they got to figure out which one it is, and everybody dies in the end because it's a Tarantino movie. Spoiler alert.
Except for Mr. Pink, idiot.
Yeah, well, I think he gets arrested immediately afterwards.
He doesn't die.
Okay, well, that's true.
How do you know he didn't hide? I think.
No, I think that was.
In my headcanon, he had a twin brother, which he planted there, and secretly ran away.
Because he's professional. Am I the only one here who's professional?
He's a professional, yeah, right?
He always said he was right.
He was being professional.
But Jesus. Okay, but so spoiler alert, right? Is the spoiler is past. So Mr. Orange ends up being the undercover cop, and like the main.
This movie is like 10,000 years old.
Whatever. People might not have watched Reservoir Dogs.
It's their fault then.
But it's not like a hugely popular movie. It's not really about age, So Mr. White, who's kind of the main. Mr. White and Mr. Orange kind of are the main characters, and Mr. Orange is like the young guy that Mr. White was always looking at. These are all code names, so whatever. He was watching after him and like trying to protect him and stuff, defending him against the other people. And at the end, there's this whole shootout with like the boss's kid, and Mr. White. They all shoot each other, and of course, Mr. White's the only one who isn't killed instantly because of reasons.
Mr. White,
in fact, he actually lives, but then he goes over, and then Mr. Orange is like, oh, because Mr. White got shot and presumably. Well, not killed, but he got shot because he was defending Orange, because they were all
Mr. Orange got shot.
Because he got shot earlier, but they were all suspicious of Orange, and well, everyone got shot. Okay, Everyone
Mr.
got
Pink
shot.
avoided that? Because he was being professional?
No, Mr. Pink avoided it all. He didn't shoot anybody, I don't think. He got away with the diamonds, but I'm pretty sure he got arrested. Point is,
No, he
okay,
escaped.
the thing at the end is the reveal.
plastic
So
diamonds.
we all know that Mr. Orange was the undercover, the mole. But so then, you know, Mr. White realizes it, and he's like, and he's just, you know, he cries out, and then he shoots Mr. Orange. And I was just thinking, this is what this is like, William. You were Mr. Orange. You were the
I think it's close
mole.
to death.
You were the closest
That's
Mr.
smart.
White. Mr. White was sheep, an awful name, and you were there. William, you were there with for the inception of the God. It's just sheep and that person you follow now. That's crazy. That's insane to me, though, and a tragedy, because we could have kept that going. But regardless, like William said, we have femboys now, and honestly, that's all you'll ever need.
Yep.
I don't really know where to go from with that from there. So
I follow 19 different femboy accounts.
yeah, read-offs. Some of them have amazing names. So William's been spending a lot of time on Twitter, and you know that's a awful idea, of course, right? But it's great for me because I just get to see the good stuff. William, you know, it keeps me updated.
I lied. Definitely more than that.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But
Oh
because
no, they did not load. Oh my god. I don't know if you want to look at the number, but it's in the hundreds.
wait, are you serious? You thought 19? How could you be confused about that?
Yeah. What was the first one? It was femboy. Wait, what? These ones haven't even.
Okay, but man, what? There's some, but Twitter has this interconnected thing where because people can, you know, retweet and quote tweet things and respond to each other. So I know I sound like an absolute ignoramus, like just now discovering Twitter, but look, there's communities, there's sub communities of Twitter that form naturally, which is a little interesting because, of course, you know, Reddit, the obvious way for that to happen is through subreddits, and so those are very clear subdivisions. What you get on Reddit is like these personal interactions and stuff that are a little bit more interesting, have a little more variance, and then of course the hive mind, the collective, can create some interesting things.
We can talk about that later.
But Twitter, individuals can just come together in whatever way they see fit, and so you end up with these weird interacting, almost like role play. I don't mean that in like a fetishy way, just like. But, you know, their Twitter accounts are roles. And so you have, and I guess people just, someone has an idea and other people catch on. Or it's the same guy with 50 alt accounts, you know. It's really, who can say? It's like these femboy accounts are all femboy something. They're not just like different people just being like femboy Mike or like, you know.
So the first thing.
Traps aren't gay. It's
the Catboy Ranch was probably the first, my introduction.
He's right. He did start with Catboys,
Catboy
but now
Ranch.
it's just pure
And then I
femboys.
followed Catboy Liberation Army United Front,
Okay.
which was a movement to stop the Catboy Ranch and free the Catboys. And then I
See what I mean?
I
It's like
followed
counter.
Pari, was the first cat.
The first. Yeah, what the hell's the thing with
Kark was
this Pari guy?
Well, Kark is the Catboy.
Okay, but what's this thing with Pari? Because there's also a
Pari
bunch
is-
of.
there's a
What
few
are, okay, there's a
Pari
bunch of accounts.
I don't know what the deal is with
Are they
Pari.
Pari accounts?
just
What are
posted
they?
Some like weird videos
like
on
Par-
YouTube. They're just like shit posts, pretending to be like a 5-year-old.
It doesn't sound like that interesting. What's interesting? It's just interesting to see the lore, to surface graze the lore. You know,
Yeah.
you ever?
Reminding Pari to come 3.0 is an account that comments on every Pari tweet, reminding Pari to come, and there's telling Pari
Isn't
the
it?
time.
And it's not a bond.
There's
Is Pari just supposed to be like Manuel Samuel or something? Just needs
telling
reminding.
Pari D's nuts. Thanks, meowing to Pari.
Okay, well they broke the pattern there, so.
They really did.
All right, well the femboys never disappoint.
No, they do not. And then from Pari, I found.
What was the first one, William?
The very first was Femboy Drawn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then Femboy Mood. And then Femboy Music Theory.
Yes, I remember femboy music.
That was the first one that got me thinking, what? And then Femboy Economist.
That one makes a lot of
Femboy
sense.
Aiming.
Yeah.
Femboy Hiking. Femboy Farming. Femboy Stats. Femboy Supremacist. Femboy Motorcycling. Femboy Tech Hobbyist. Femboy Pokemon Ranger. Femboy Composing. Oh shit.
I forgot. There's a
Femboy
music theory and a
tanking,
composer.
Femboy business, femboy criminology, femboy cuddles, femboy navigation, femboy
Femboy navigation.
femboy
That's what I
writing,
like a lot.
femboy geopolitics, femboy semantics and pragmatics, femboy guitar, femboy metalhead, femboy anarchy / geography. Those make sense to me. Femboy VR, femboy rollerblading, Bill Wirtz, femboy baking, femboy geology, femboy optics, femboy animating, femboy bass, femboy firearms, femboy Bitcoin, femboy drumming, femboy Terraria, femboy retrotech, femboy tank history, femboy facts, femboy psycholonia, femboy golfing, femboy fantasy, femboy finance.
That one makes sense.
Femboy astrophysics.
Femboy finance rolls off the tongue so well.
Yeah, femboy finance is pretty great.
Femboy astrophysics.
Femboy tech inc. Femboy parkour. Femboy engineering.
You had a stroke in that word.
Femboy climbing femboy, but then it's their current name is femboy dritterology. So here's another thing that's happened. The femboy world has
is
combined
merging.
with the
Oh my
drag
god, it's a
world.
world crossover. Worlds collide.
All the
Femboy and
accounts have
drag.
become femboy, and all the femboy accounts have become drag. I don't
So
know what's
okay,
happening.
but ignoring the drag because I don't want to open that can of worms of explaining drag to people. But he's got. Let's say he's an educational,
Actually, the
political
thing-
satirist. Satirist.
Explain dritter.
The May of the fucking dude. A May from Avatar: The Last Airbender appreciation count learned about
What's
Tritter. That
a
was
dritter?
incredible.
And somebody sent a picture of Eagle.
And they said it looked like and
is
oh
this
yeah.
Dr.
But then they
That's
said
great.
then they saw a picture of actual drag and they thought it looked like Yandere Dev. And that's exactly what he looks like.
So apparently there are a group of depressed adolescents on Twitter standing an internet character named Dreg who looks like a healthy, functional Yandere Dev. And that's pretty
Why
much
did a
the
May
only-
appreciation count? That's the other thing
that's
is
what you
people
do.
make so many alt accounts on Twitter and bots, and then they choose to comment to learn things with something like this. It is beautiful in its own
Femboy
way.
entomology, beautiful. Beautiful, yeah.
Femboy entomologist gotta be my favorite. So William, you gotta tell me because you're on all of them. Do these accounts really like live up to what they?
Mostly, I mean, sometimes they'll comment on
Like-
different people's posts about that, but
Oh,
mostly it's
about
just
but their
full
own
femboy-
posts are just pictures of their legs, right?
Mostly it's mostly legs.
Occasionally, like the bottom half of their face, which is wearing the mask, anyways.
Yeah. I mean, Femboy Drawing did a face reveal recently. Very
That's
cool. Very cool.
So like for example, you know, like femboy geopolitics.
Women, men, and hard drugs. It's a good bio.
By oh,
Femboy communism.
all right. Well, that one's
That's
bound to
definitely
come
a
up. So you follow all those, right?
Yeah, man. I follow all the gimmick
Nice.
accounts.
Oh my god. What are you talking about? Are you telling me those aren't authentic,
And then
legitimate
He
accounts?
will not divide us. Oh no.
Oh.
This is something I follow just out of like morbid curiosity. It's like
You want to see how long it
disgust,
can
but I also
go?
wanna know what
Is
will
it gonna
happen.
go for? Yeah, it is gonna go for.
It's gonna
Is he gonna have to move it to a bigger jar? What's he gonna?
Day
Is he gonna have to
7's
put that jar into a bigger jar?
I forgot this is why I was throwing up earlier. I remember I had like earlier in the week when this first happened, I guess 7 days ago. I went to sleep and the next morning all I could think about was throwing up, and I was like, why do I feel so sick all the time? I watched on Twitter. I saw a Joe Biden action figure in a jar covered in cum, and then I remembered. And it's just so gross because it's you know, every day. That means it's
There's plenty of
from-
time to sit.
from the day before.
Yep.
There's 7-day-old cum in that jar right now.
There's gonna be 4-year-old come by the
There's gonna
time.
be 4-year-old cum by the end.
potentially
that's
8 years?
Possibly not true though. What if he dies?
Oh my.
I we both thought the same thing at the same time. I could see it. I saw it in your face.
What an ethical moral nightmare. What do you do
Plan.
with a Twitter?
It's the plan there, man.
That's like there's no, I would hope that they would do like what they do with like say Stanley's Instagram account where now, you know, I don't know who it is, his family or someone takes it on and just continues to post stuff.
Might be Stanley as well.
And just continues to post things in his name, you know, not pretending to be him, that'd be creepy. But I would like to hope they take that approach and just continue on the way you would have wanted it. What do you do with an account? What do you do posthumously with an account dedicated to covering, to, I guess, resin, damn, I can't think of the word. Suspending a figurine of the president of the United States who's dead. If like the day he dies, would another one come out? What if one came out before he died? They made another post. What do you do the next day? What do you do that day? I just have an existential crisis. I just sit and stare at the wall like, this man is dead, and I spent the last however long of his life coming on a figurine of him. He died. We would have done it the day he died. But I mean,
but Joe Biden is a winner.
Jesus.
I think he'd be proud.
His ghost, thumbs up. Oh, some people start these things without really thinking. I guess he'd switch to a Kamala figurine, wouldn't he? I think he would.
Anyways,
Kamala, I should say. Kamala. Oh no, now I sound like a Republican. Well, there are worse things. Not much. So Twitter, stuff going on, and one of William's favorite things is to check what's trending in the different, specifically in politics, right? Which was great. The ninja one was fun, I guess.
Ninja was great because it just became everything ninja related, and it's all tag politics.
That was good. But we don't need to cover that.
Yeah, we don't.
But then today, I like that kissing was trending on Twitter politics.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Well, I guess kissing is political. So.
All right. Well, anyways.
Hedge is currently trending in politics. I don't know what it means.
Okay. But the thing that William showed me was
Discord, United States politics trending.
But the last thing William showed me was that Reddit was trending in politics on Twitter, and I was like, okay, well, I still don't know what that would have been about, but it made me think, and this could be it. That's the only thing I can imagine. But I explained this to you, William. I don't know if the viewers out there have heard. Reddit, banded together, got a bunch of people, and they made GameStop like one of the most successful companies in the world. What are they? They what was it? They
stocks, I guess.
Like 500% increase. I don't even know what that is, but yeah, a ton of Redditors apparently bought enough stock in GameStop that it is now like one of the top performing companies. Wall Street is fucked, and that's great. Or I don't know, whoever it is. Anyway, so what was happening? Okay, so here's the rundown. Was these big name, big money investors were all shorting GameStop. Which, so if you don't know, the stock market lets you essentially bet on or against companies that have put themselves on the stock market, which is a nightmarish, horrific creation of capitalism, which is supposed to help economic growth, which it does, but in a really, again, awful way. I don't know. It's got tragic outcomes, but it is able to be manipulated, as with everything in capitalism. And the problem is the people are starting to learn their own power. It's like the Matrix. He's beginning to believe the little guys are starting to realize that it's not just the super rich that have the ability to manipulate the flaws and exploit the flaws in capitalism. So what happened here was this. GameStop is, of course, a store that sells like physical games, which is dying. It's like Blockbuster. Blockbuster's already dead. GameStop's on its way out because everyone just buys games online now. I'm honestly amazed it's lasted this long, since people don't play. People are really, there's a huge stigma against like console gaming in general. And then what are you going to buy physically for your computer? No, computers like don't even have disk drives anymore. You just go get Steam or whatever. So I'm amazed it's even still in business, right? It's being propped up by like 11-year-old kids. But so all the companies, and I guess the way this got to Reddit was people on like what is it, r/Wall Street Bets?
Yeah, which has now been banned.
Why has it been banned?
Banned it.
Because of this?
People get so upset about this.
What happened?
The whole thing is, people, their argument, capitalism, anybody can do anything. But then when anybody does anything,
They get mad about it. That's how it works,
Rich people do those things.
Yeah, rich people can do anything they want. Wait, it's like, it's capitalism. Anyone can do anything.
They can rise to the top.
And then so the poor people are like, wait, so I can do anything? Not you. No, you can't. No. This is not how you play the game. Yeah, and everyone's a billionaire. Except for the cripplingly poor. And that's the way they want to keep it.
Can we have a capitalism cringe moment?
So was this organized on Wall Street Bets? See, that part I didn't get. Okay, so people on Wall Street Bets were just going like, fuck these guys who think. Okay, so basically all the big spenders were all like, well, this is like the safest, one of the most popular things at the moment was like just short, which means bet against a GameStop, because what you do when you short is like you actually sell stocks that you don't even have and buy them back. You hope to buy them back at a lower price than you bought them for, which means if the market value of a company goes down, you make profit off of it. You want to sell high, buy low, right? Because it's so easily it's so easily exploitable because it's just herd mentality at the end of the day. It's supposed to be like some kind of economic market value, objective, qualitative like analysis thing. But it's just herd mentality if you really break it down to human psychology. Because when you short something, the way for that to be successful is for other people to short it. Or I guess it can crash for other reasons, right? Again, the reason it was going down is because people weren't buying and selling. But if everyone is buying in a company, then its market value is going to go up. If everyone's shorting it, its market value is going to go down. So that's how it happened. Okay, people didn't need to flood GameStops, which again is another reason why it's got to be going out of business, right? Because you can't go to store. But so people didn't actually physically flood GameStop and buy everything to raise its market value.
Pretty sure Mr. Beast did that recently.
Did he buy the GameStop?
Well, he bought everything in the GameStop, I think.
And then, okay, well, but just the average Reddit. Again, that's the thing. These were just average people. People on Reddit don't have money. And so people just went and bought, instead of shorting, they went and bought GameStop GameStop stocks. Damn, I lost. Okay, stop stocks is hard to say. And that was enough to, again, skyrocket its market value, which means all those people who shorted are going to fucking lose tons of money. No, it's not going to destroy them because, of course, they're untouchable. They got, if they have a smart, I feel bad for any, like, average, like, middle-class person who just thought, this is a safe, who just knocked, this is such a safe bet, and they're an idiot who just, like, put their whole $100,000 into shorting GameStop. But
leave it there, though. It's going to go back down eventually. People are going to forget about it.
You're probably right. That's the problem. But that said, GameStop for the time being. But it made a statement. And you're right. It isn't going to last. The market will stabilize, I would expect. I don't know. I'm not an economist.
The market is
thank God. Well, yeah. But it's not untouchable. If we were to continuously do this, actively, selectively, judiciously,
they destroy capitalism.
You can take capitalism down. If we just chose one company and say instead of buying stocks, shorted it to death. Yeah, we will. Yeah, we can hear you. If we were to take a company and like short it entirely, that was what happened with The Big Short. I think I talked about this, that movie where, the housing market crashed. The market fails. People don't get that. The market fails all the time. Same with oil and gas, okay? Oil and gas. Oh, you gotta let them in. People are like, oh, oil and gas because it's secure. It fails all the time. That's the reason every fucking person in Alberta got laid off. Because of oil and gas, okay?
Come in.
Sure, maybe stuff like solar and wind is more unreliable on a day-to-day basis, but it doesn't have huge jumps and spikes, okay? The sun isn't going anywhere. The wind is not just gonna stop blowing.
Wow.
Okay? We don't have month-long eclipses. Okay, you can just not have oil. It stops. When the pandemic happened, because cold. We should put his water bowl in the basement. He actually might drink it then. Play was drinking the water out of my
just
cup.
came into this room and just started drinking water.
We
out
should
of
have let.
Charles's cup.
We should have let him out. He would have drank the snow. Right, that's all getting cut, but that's okay. We have the people have the power. They just don't see it because, you're raised to believe that you'll have your lot in life. It's a caste system. It's feudal. It's fucking feudalism. It's a caste system that you're born into with the...
Capitalism is colonialism?
Is feudalism. Is racism. And no one understands that they can break through that. People always, they have this sneer of, this contemptuous belief that they know everything when you start criticizing, capitalism, because in their minds, the decision is already made, which is oh yeah, you can talk about these flaws in capitalism. When I talk about its strong points, I'm still more right because the capitalism is the best we got. Oh, what's your other option? Communism? First of all, yes, but people are terrified of communism. Understandably so. I'm not going to pretend there's not reason for that.
I'm telling you, if Lenin lasted longer, they wouldn't be.
If Lenin lasted more than 2 goddamn years into the Soviet Union,
he did in those 2 years. I mean,
he freed the fucking proletariat. Okay, he did what he wanted to do. That was the hard part.
If he was, I know,
yes, there was disputes right off the bat. There was disputes.
That's why I just need Passadism. Just kill everyone.
Passadism is a much more direct approach, but we're losing people. The point of it is, people have this feeling of superiority because they're in their minds they can't see beyond their little bubble, which is all neoliberal capitalism.
It's people who wipe with the folded toilet paper.
It's people. It's everyone who wipes standing up and sitting down. It's right. It's 2 entire civilizations that are entirely unaware of each other. Yeah. It's like Wakanda. They're just right there, but you can't see it at all.
Because you don't ask people that until now.
Because you don't ask them.
Let's normalize asking about shitting.
Normalize asking people about how they wipe.
Yep.
Yeah. Good.
Yep. And how much they
we brought it full circle, but that's not what's important here. I got off topic. The point is, this is a great thing. This is another great thing. Remember that other time when everyone bought the goddamn Trump rally tickets and then didn't go? Also something Redditors and TikTok users did.
Those K-pop stands.
Oh, is that what it was? TikTokers and K-poppers? What? I don't know. This is besides the point. It doesn't matter who, okay? I don't care. If I don't agree with you exactly, exercise your ability as a human being living in a goddamn democracy to make change.
This is Reddit redeeming themselves for not doing Area 51.
It's true. That was more successful. This was more successful than the whole goddamn Black Lives Matter movement was. I'm just saying. I think it was a great idea. I agree with all the principles it was founded on. You can't pretend like it was successful. I supported it when it was happening, but now that it's happened and we haven't changed the police system.
And Jemima, we lost.
Yeah, great. Okay, if they change, not Margaret Thatcher, Confederate. Did they? I guess they took out some Confederate statues, and honestly, that's for the best. I don't give a shit either way. If the Redskins gets changed, was it Washington Redskins? What is that? A hockey team? Football team? Football team. If we can get that changed, I'll just be like, you've accomplished one thing, because that one's pretty atrocious. It's not the African Americans, but this is what.
Did you say Nazi?
I did.
Jesus.
But see, that's a Native American thing, and it's the Nazis? Black Lives Matter, and it's the BLM movement that's causing that change, because it's true. Yeah, because African Americans in the U.S. have been catalysts for change, for civil rights, for civil reform, for years. I mean, this has almost always been the case, because guess what? Asian Americans are treated like shit. And no one's going to do anything about them. Biden's doing shit right now. Oh, that's the other thing, right? Okay, Jesus. There's a lot has happened. I'm going to be recording back to back. But, Biden's been doing stuff, okay, in his presidency.
We can all go to Afghanistan together now. Yay, trans people and cis people all in one.
Equal opportunity. Hey.
Yay.
Well, he's supposed to stop that from happening. I'm not counting on it, but of the things he's doing, I mean, he's got us back in the Paris agreement, which is, that's the worst part, right? Biden's been doing stuff, but all he's been doing is undoing the things that Trump already undid from Obama era.
Already made the
which is so bullshit.
This is literally the Star Wars sequels. It's 3 movies.
Yeah,
and they
you're
all just
right.
Fight each other. Like the first.
The problem is the first one was already pretty bad. Force Awakens just think of it as J.J. Abrams versus Rian Johnson versus J.J. Abrams again. Which, to be fair, Biden was the vice president, so
yeah.
So you have J.J. came and made his Star Wars Episode 7, and then Rian Johnson came as Trump and was like, let's undo all of this. And then J.J. got back in because everyone hated Rian Johnson's idea, and then he was like, let's undo everything you just undid, and it was even worse. I hope Biden is, So far, again, it hasn't seemed that bad because he's not changed. He's just putting it back to Obama-era policies.
What I'm saying, this is why Biden was a good choice, because we don't need to, like...
It's true, we want to go, we need to go back to the middle, and then Biden's either going to be dead or he's not going to get re-election because Bernie's going to finally, like, someone's going to come.
Who's older? I mean, Biden's older.
God, I think Bernie's actually older.
Seriously?
He's going to be dead.
That's so sad.
But he's got more will to live. Biden's ready to die. Not Kamala. We don't need Kamala. Wait, Kamala. Damn it, I can't. Fuck. I'm so racist. Anyways. Shit. Okay. That's not the point. The point is, he's been doing some good stuff. Shutting down private prisons. Fucking about time. Again, getting back in the Paris Climate Agreement. About time. But damn, it's like an undoing...
Sanders is 1 year older than Joe Biden.
Okay.
Joe Biden is 78.
Man, have you seen some of those pictures of them young, as politicians? It's crazy how long they've been in the game.
Joe Biden,
it's was the sad.
Senator and now the oldest president.
I hate that the oldest guy we got in politics right now is the one who's the most progressive and stuff. Young people need to shut the fuck up and do their job, which is drive the world forward.
Again, I'm telling you, all right, this is back to the shitting thing, all right?
Damn, people fucking hate AOC, and I'm like, I want to like you, but all I hear is bad stuff about you. Be better.
What do you mean? AOC is super cool. Did you watch that Netflix documentary?
Is she? Everyone hates her.
She played Among Us.
Yeah, and that doesn't make you cool. That's the problem. Like, be a fucking human being. Don't... Damn, that's old people are supposed to do that. Like, that was Hillary's mistake. Was she Pokemon going and... Fuck.
That was his because that was his mistake. But then that was Hillary's mistake. It was funny, trust me.
Anyways, we need young people in politics that are actually representative of youth. Whatever. I mean, I guess AOC does kind of represent youth, doesn't she? Kind of a little bit insane Twitch streamer. Might have an OnlyFans account. Can't say for sure. She's got some alright ideas, but she's just not agreeable. It's like the PETA of politics.
Well, I thought you were going to say Socrates.
Point is, where was I going with this? Why was I talking about Biden? I don't know.
Because I was talking about coming on him or something. Not me.
We really we actually totally roundabout got back to that. No, I was talking about something else. I don't remember what. We were talking about the Reddit thing. Regardless, people need. I was just talking about communism. People just being like, "Oh, capitalism's the only way." Like, no, it's not. We just are born to and beaten into submission, into accepting that capitalism and all its flaws are like the only system we have, and all we have to do is try and like fix the flaws in capitalism, and that's the most we can do. And true, it'd be nice if we could fix and patch up some of the flaws, because there's tons of easily fixable gaping holes in it. But at the end of the day, it is possible to start from scratch. Okay, it wouldn't be easy, don't get me wrong, but like you said, William, about Posadas, there's nothing a couple nukes can't fix. That would be a good place to end it, but I think we got a little ways to go.
Can I talk about Death Note the musical for a second?
Please, do you want to have your Death Note the musical segment?
I don't know what
Go
the
for it.
segment's gonna be, but I'll just.
So for those of you who don't know, there's a Death Note the musical.
Hot take: Death Note the musical is better than the show, the anime. I haven't read the manga, but probably better than that too.
Possibly.
Maybe. I don't
Please
know. This might be a
enlighten us.
Power Rangers situation. You know how
That's what I was thinking.
Rangers
It's
is
like reverse Power Rangers because Power Rangers was in Japan,
Yeah, it's
and
from
and
Japan.
apparently people don't like it, and then they
The
made it in the
Ameri-
U.S. and they lost their shit over it. The
What I was
musical was
saying
made in the U.S.
Oh, but
I was
what
thinking
I
of
was
that.
comparing to, all right, you said it was my segment. Shut up. So what I was comparing it to was
I want to
in
drink water.
the. Sorry,
I'll go
loser.
get another
Drink
cup.
my saliva.
Please tell the audience what Death Note the musical is. I'm sure you're all familiar with.
So in
With Death
2013, somebody just like in a I don't know, lapse of judgment.
Is there
or
an
maybe
internet
the opposite,
historian
they
video
had,
on
like,
this?
I don't know, but it was definitely a good idea. They decided they wanted to make a Broadway of Death Note. Because anyways, so they decided they wanted to do that. So they wrote a bunch of songs and they like wrote the whole plot again, but shorter, so it couldn't fit in like a
Couple hours.
regular time for a musical. And then they presented the idea, and everybody hated it, so it didn't get made.
It sounds awful. They must have just
certainly
stopped him.
does.
He probably just pitched it. Like he just started.
I
Like,
guess so.
So you know Death Note. What if we made a musical? Stop, leave, and they didn't even hear the
And
songs.
then somebody, I guess, in Japan decided, you know what, that sounds like a great idea. Because, it's Japan. I didn't know they did musicals in Japan, but apparently they
I
did.
didn't know Japan
So-
had musicals until you
so
explained this to
some
me.
Japanese people, came to America. This is probably not at all how it went down, but someone from Japan liked the idea, wanted to make a Japanese musical version, and they said sure because they weren't going to use it. And so they made it in Japan, and then this Japanese version was it had subtitles. They put subtitles on it. People in America watched it, and then everybody loved it. And they're like, "Why don't you make this?" And it's just like kind of like a Vincent Van Gogh moment. He's already dead.
Vince, he has that. What it's
Your praise
comparable
means
to.
nothing.
I guess fair enough.
And then so
Valid.
everybody loved this sub, and they're like, well, now we need it in America. Little do they know, you're the reason why it wasn't made in America.
You're the reason.
It's you specifically.
Yeah, you the viewer. I mean, yeah. I mean,
And then they were saying they were gonna do it in 2020. They were like, you know what? Enough people. Want
how do you
this
keep
now.
catching
We're
things
gonna
just as
do
they're a
it."
thing?
I'm just amazing. And then we had a bit of a pandemic, and now they're not. But there was a possibility that Netflix would pick it up, and we're still waiting for further.
Netflix
Just
again.
But if they get Willem Dafoe,
That okay?
If they
That
get
would be
Willem Dafoe,
pretty
that's the only thing
good.
that would make it
Does
better.
Willem? I don't think Willem Dafoe's ever done stage stuff. I don't know.
I don't see why he wouldn't. He's kind of amazing. He could have
Did
been
Willem
Jekyll
Dafoe in
and Hyde.
theater? You said that. I guess you haven't said that on the podcast. William has been studying
I'm
Jekyll
telling
and
you.
Hyde in school, in class, and every single time he talks about it, he goes, should have been
It's
played by
literally the
Willem
Green Goblin.
Dafoe.
I submitted it
The Green-
as an assignment. I was supposed to compare Jekyll and Hyde to something, and I just spent the entire paragraph explaining why Willem Dafoe is literally
Green
Jekyll
Goblin?
and Hyde as Green Goblin.
Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah, Green Goblin slash Norman Osborn is
Jekyll and Hyde.
And this
I
is
mean,
true.
it's a good.
Think about it.
Well, here's the thing. The reason why it's not, you're not wrong, but the thing is,
He literally gets killed by himself at the end. He kills himself because he can't control the other side.
but they were definitely.
Science made scientist man. Okay.
No, but that's the thing, William. You're not wrong. It's not like an accident. I'm pretty sure that, especially the Raimi Green Goblin, was heavily inspired by the
point is,
Jekyll and
Willem
Hyde.
Dafoe is both of these.
But yes,
characters
Willem
so
Dafoe as
well.
the actor could
Therefore,
definitely play
Why is he not
because he's insane. Yeah, I always imagine Jekyll and Hyde as being a stouter fella.
officially? All right. I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah, what was
start
it?
a GoFundMe or something. A change.org. All right. Look, we have when you go into Google and search up
Jekyll and Hyde
Jekyll
movies.
and Hyde movies, you get a huge list, including like I Monster. The one that stood out was
Oh yeah, the Nutty Professor,
Nutty
right?
Professor.
The Nutty Professor,
Jekyll and Hyde.
starring Eddie Murphy as two characters. Well, I think he's also his whole family, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, the Nutty Professor
I forgot.
is a Jekyll Hyde movie, but Spider-Man isn't. Man, Yeah.
And so I'm saying we need to put Spider-Man 1 in this.
you were actually
in this
saying
list.
that Death Note the musical was better.
Yeah. Okay. So Death Note, the musical. Back to Death Note the musical. All right. It's just better. All right. The songs are better than not songs. Yeah.
So the addition of
Obviously.
songs. So you're saying musical numbers fit into the Death Note story and
Incredibly
universe.
well because, and here's why I compared it to. There's like a certain thing you can capture, like a feeling in a rap battle that you just can't have in like an actual fight or a disagreement.
Yeah.
You know, an argument.
Dude, did they do like writing montages? Because that was always a thing. That was kind of the two things of Death Note that were like a little bit of a campy. I think it was kind of self-aware, where it was like supposed to be intense dramatic moments that ended up being almost comedic if you saw them, because it was like the action sequences, was the writing montages of like, instead of a montage of, a supervillain personally going and wiping out villages or something, it's just whoever has the notebook at the time just writing a bunch of names down. And the other thing would be, instead of a battle between L and Light, until they actually started physically fighting, which was a little overdone, the second half of the I can see. I almost preferred it when it was just like them staring at each other, like and just glaring at each other, but then there would be the whole as like where they're standing on buildings or whatever. So, yeah.
Spinning around, that was cool.
But so those being represented in musical form, I could see. Did they have Did they have like a writing montage song? Oh man, I just keep imagining those like happy musical songs.
They didn't have a.
And like with dance numbers.
I mean, they had songs that took place while he was writing names, but it wasn't about writing. It was about him, just thinking about what was going on.
Fair enough.
The ones that had him and Al, they were kind of like, doing the thing where they talk to each other.
Yeah.
Show.
Like
It was like that, but you sing to each other.
What was that? What's that Greatest Showman song where he's like trying to convince the guy to join his circus or whatever?
You fit in.
You
Whatever. Which one are you talking about?
the one where Hugh Jackman is trying to convince fucking Zac Efron to join his circus. Yeah. Anyways, it's like that. Yeah, like a musical conversation. Sure.
Yeah. Do you think
Duet.
Zac Efron looked better young or old?
He's timeless.
Okay.
He hasn't changed
Good.
a bit.
Good. Well, they're definitely distinct, different looks.
No.
Yeah.
Anyways, but why?
They
but
also made several story changes.
Okay, they changed the plot a bit. They changed the ending, you told me, and
They
that's
changed the ending, and I like
always.
it.
I get that, but it always upsets me when it's like when a thing is improved by changing the ending. Because like, if anything shouldn't need changing, it should be the ending. It's like they
about
keep
I'm
the
Legend?
small details. Yeah, that's like I Am Legend, where they like changed the ending from the book and then made two endings for the movie, which apparently were both bad.
You know what I don't get is they adapted I Am Legend because the ending is really good and powerful. They adapted it to
Yeah.
the movie because of that, and then they didn't keep the ending. There's nothing left there. It's just a movie about a guy trying to find a cure.
I like watching a movie and then going and finding out that there's an alternate ending, because I always like having more content,
Yeah.
Because if I liked the movie, or I guess if I hated the movie, then I can be like, well, how could it have been better? So I do like seeing alternate endings, but it definitely upsets me to know that a story could be changed by just changing the ending.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, well, it sounds to me like the movie wasn't building it right. Good movie. Say,
Harry Potter.
well, Harry Potter's different. No, but say a movie,
Percy Jackson.
not series, a classic
E.T.
like Sixth Sense, right?
E.T.
That's definitely an alternate ending kind of movie. I could totally see alternate endings. And I think you could make an alternate ending, but I would argue that they don't work as well, because it's one of those like almost a whodunit thing where at the end of the movie, of course, again, spoiler alert, it adds up all these things of like, why was the wife ignoring him and stuff, and
depressed.
yeah, and seeing another guy, and it's because Bruce Willis is dead. They could have. That definitely seems like the kind of twist ending you could change, because it's separate from the ending, right? Because it was ambiguous. It wasn't saying that he was dead. They never said he was dead throughout the movie, so they wouldn't have to change anything else about the movie except the ending. But you would, if they did an alternate ending where I have no idea what it could possibly be, it would be so wrong. Like, or it wouldn't add up as well. So the ending, if you have a movie where you can make two endings that are just as good, that make equal sense, that means the rest of your movie, that means the beginning and middle of the movie weren't actually pointing towards anything. It was just events. And there are definitely movies like that where it's just, here's the thing happening, and then this thing happened, and then this thing happened, and then this thing happened. That's just actual storytelling. Like this half thing happened, and you're telling the story, where you could change the end of, not storytelling, like one word, where you're creating fiction, you know? What's the point in creating a story if you're just going to make it as if it was a real story? Which I think is the problem with I Am Legend. The movie is just, guy has dog in zombie apocalypse. This thing happens in zombie apocalypse. This thing happens. He meets survivors in zombie apocalypse. The survivors want to go to this place. He doesn't want to go, and then everyone dies except for the survivors. They were right. Right? So yeah, you could change the ending to anything.
Just in general. Because they have to fit like the whole story in a small bit, so that you don't have anything that doesn't need.
In a small bit, they also have to stop. Well, I guess you can have plot continuing during songs, but oftentimes the plot slows down during songs.
Well, you're wrong.
Oh, okay.
Like in Love Is God, Our Love Is God, in Heathers, JD kills 2 people in that song. All right.
Okay.
Very important to the plot. If you skip that song, you wouldn't know what was happening.
No. Okay.
Songs need to be essential in a musical.
Not always, because there are things like an opera. Yeah, because that's the difference between an aria, which is a character song, so it develops the character. Usually won't drive the plot, or there's the other kind, recitative, where they're just more moving the plot, and saying things. Anyways, so they changed some plot beats. You told me about them.
Yeah.
I guess this is just an informative thing for all the people who didn't know that, which I'm sure is a lot of people who didn't know that Death Note had a musical. So if you're interested in watching it,
songs once, and it was like amazing, and I was like, wait a minute, this is like Death Note the musical, and I had to know more. And
I guess just say how they changed the ending. So they changed the Misa Misa thing, right? They shortened that. They changed her character introduction. They shortened it. They changed Light's character a little bit.
They played tennis directly after Light and Al play tennis. Misa comes and then sees L's real name, and then leaves, and then...
Oh, so do Light and Misa never meet up?
No, they do.
Oh, okay.
The tennis happens later.
They move it... Okay, the tennis match happens later. So they didn't, like, meet at school several times. They just cut that down, because that was the thing. Yeah. Okay.
And then Light calls Misa, L's...
And he has the phone,
the ring,
right.
He has the phone, and then he tells Light they've arrested her.
And they didn't do the whole... There was a long time spent just looking at Misa, and that was a little frustrating to watch in the show when it's just like him questioning Misa, and because the viewer fucking knows that Misa's lost all her memories and doesn't know anything. Like they don't need to keep showing us that. Okay, so they cut all that out, I assume.
You didn't like the Misa being restrained?
I didn't like Misa thinking she was going to get raped. They didn't... Never mind. Continue. So L pretty much knows that Light is Kira. Okay.
But they also lead more into like in the anime, they had a bit where Light started using like
got L to distrust the police and police distrust L, which was just supposed to make discordancy.
But they made it a bigger deal.
Discord.
They basically the point was Light was trying to get them to think that L
to actually be so basically Light was actually smarter in the musical because he didn't have a long-term plan other than kill L. If you think about it, he actually was pretty short-sighted. He had a lot of good short-term plans. You could you could say that it was a long-term plan when he like planned losing his memory and getting it back, but at the end of the day there was one thing. All that other part was like him being blacked out as he was a good guy, quote unquote. But in general, he would plan for how to not get the Death Note found. He planned to get rid of this FBI agent. He planned to, he didn't plan like, okay, but then what? And then what?
That's why he lost the...
That's why he got the avatar.
This is how chess works, right? Friends, you killed the queen, doesn't mean you won.
He had the avatar, and then he had nowhere to go.
You killed the queen, but now...
Yeah, what next?
L was the queen.
But
you killed L, and then he still lost.
But in the musical, he actually had started the plan early on of how he's going to get rid of L. Because he had no idea how he was going to get rid of L until he met Misa.
And there you go. There's another thing about musicals. They had to make it so everything mattered, right?
That's a good point, yeah.
Because that would have been hard to
episodic,
not put that in there. But if they...
Episodic animes were able to do mini storylines where it's like, here's the thing.
Yeah, so it's a one continuous thing. I like that.
So,
and so
because there was a thing thrown around, there was a couple lines thrown around like, how do we know you're not? How do we know you're not Kira?
But all the suspicions were pretty much gone as soon as he showed his face for some reason.
Yeah.
Met them in person, they're like, okay, we trust you.
He's just so trustworthy. You know, he gave them every reason to trust him. Not really. Anyways, but so they still mistrusted him in the musical.
And so Al knows it's light, but Al needs to get the like solid evidence so that everybody else thinks it's light as well. And so then Light leaves, and then he basically, instead of having the whole thing where they lose their memory, he decides that Misa's going to die, all right, in this version, and the only way to stop her from dying is to kill Elsa. So basically, what happens?
Well, isn't that what they basically said in the anime? Isn't that what happened?
In the anime, that was after all this, though. After they lost.
Oh, you're okay. Good point. Because he got her to kill you. That was rushed a bit.
If you don't kill.
Yeah, got her to start killing people because she was an idiot.
Yeah. He got her to do things. Yeah, and he got her to kill the detective following him. Anyways, so he basically got it so it was very obvious that it was Misa, so that L would then try and, well, he would eventually obviously figure it out, and then she would die. And then Rim, the other Shinigami, wouldn't want that, so she would have to kill L.
Why didn't he just do it? Honestly, sometimes it feels like that was how it was supposed to go in the anime. Because, like, when I rewatch it, I go, oh, wait, is this where it... But wait a second, no, this is the whole thing where he loses his memory. How does that happen? That part got messy. Where, again, they spent a long time just looking at her in prison and looking at Light in prison.
Because Light and L being good together was, like, so cool.
Yeah, that was fun. And then the payoff is good once you realize what his plan was. But up until that point, it's like, man, this is sloppy.
Yeah. But,
just a couple episodes.
So basically but then he also tells Rim that because if she just kills L, they're still gonna suspect Misa. So had to put together a plan to...
Wait a second. In the anime, how did Rem kill L and... How and why did she kill Rem? How and why did Rem kill L and Watari? Did he not kill... Did she not kill Watari to save the girl's life? Because she would have started to die right then and there.
Well, just for both of the names before they die.
That's unfair.
If you're right, the names before they die, then it doesn't...
That seems unfair.
Yeah. Anyways, so she writes out a scenario in the Death Note, which is basically she writes that L is gonna meet Light with a gun, and then L is gonna shoot Light, but non-fatally, and then
to put suspicion on
L.
L.
Gonna give the gun to Light, and then Light will shoot L to kill him.
Wait, what?
That was the scenario. Yeah, out of self-defense.
How does he get the gun?
Well, he's taller.
How is he supposed to get... That's not believable. I guess Light wasn't that smart.
Yeah, well, Anyway, so he does that. They act out the whole thing. L comes, but he doesn't know that this is all already written down. So then he shoots Light, and then Light starts laughing. It's like, what? But I did everything, whatever. And then basically L realizes everything he's about to do has already been written down. It's pretty sad. And then he just, instead of giving Light the gun, he just shoots himself. Guess he can do that.
He can do that? Why wouldn't he just shoot Light in the head instead?
Well, no, but it was specified that it would be non-fatal.
Didn't specify that he would. Didn't it specify that he wouldn't kill himself?
He would get killed by his gun. So
that's how.
So he shot himself.
He just killed him. That's brutal for L.
Yeah, it was. And then Light was like, "Oh, cool! I won. Everything's good now. I don't have to worry about anything. I can just write down names. Continue
as the god of the new world, as he wanted."
And then Ryuk is like,
"Kind of about that.
Boring, isn't that?" So he just kills Light.
Which he does do in the ending. So they essentially took both endings, because there's really two endings to Death Note, right? Because there's the ending where he wins and then the ending where he dies. Again, spoiler alert, fuck you. And then they just compressed it all into one thing.
And I think it makes more sense.
And cut Nier out. That's kind of, honestly, that's the best move they could have done. They took the ending of, like, the L thing where he wins and kills L, and then they took the ending where Ryuk writes his name in the Death Note, and they just cut out everything with Nier and Mel on it.
Pretty much.
which is probably a good move. Less character development for the task force people, which is unfortunate. I love.
So but the dad had more things. Very cool. I like that.
That's a sacrifice that has to be made. There's not times for, individual episodes.
That was like the one good thing about this season too was
Matsuda's arc.
Yeah. I mean, he killed him, kind of.
That's right. That was awesome.
Fatally
that was a great character.
Very cool. And he shot him 1,000 times. Super cool.
He did.
Love that.
I have a degree of appreciation for just the way they ended it because again, I'm fairly certain someone wrote that ending and then was like, okay, do we go with the ending where Light loses or where Light wins? And they went with Light wins, and they're like, I really want to do the one where he loses, and then they just wrote a bunch of junk. Yeah, because not that the whole last episode is great or that it's executed great, but I think conceptually it had good ideas.
Because he had like this perfectly planned out thing, but then when you have an elaborate plan, one thing goes wrong. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. There's no plan B.
All of his stuff was, and again, the setup to that was awful. Where it's like, okay, but why? How did he get to this point? You have to ignore that because it was done poorly. Yeah, it's a lot of nonsensical stuff. Yeah, the whole replacing the book, replacing the pages, replacing the book.
And then he found out what's his face.
But I'm just saying his death was a good death. How about that? His death scene was good, and because the death scene was like half the episode, but that's why I talk about it like the ending. But it's really the death.
Yeah,
it was very tragic. You think about you gotta ignore how bad the rest of the season was and just connect again like in the musical they did connect the endings. And you were talking about in the musical how he, gets those, I think it's 40 seconds, like 40 seconds where he knows there's nothing he can do to stop himself.
They don't ever have, I think, the full 40 seconds in the rest of the musical. I think that's kind of good. They just kind of skipped through some of it. They might have it for the first kill. I think that's it, the first kill. They have the full 40 seconds.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And they think they sing a song while it happens. And then after the 40 seconds, the guy dies. Whoa. But just having the 40 seconds drawn out. So cool.
Yeah, of him actually just panicking.
Because Ryuk writes the name, and there's nothing he can do. Because he thinks he's a god, and he's treating himself like a god, and then he just realizes...
Again, like I said, it's like the ending of Aladdin. The one reason you're not a real genie, you're not... You can't... you're not... Actually, the way that Aladdin is, you're not the most powerful thing in the world, because the genie gave you those powers.
Yeah. That's pretty much...
And I was saying that's what Ryuk's line should have been. It's just been like... where he was like, I'm the god, and it's like, you're still not... the god of death.
God's weapon.
Well, what was the line? It's just like, how there's still one thing that's keeping you from actually being a god. And he's like, what's that? It's like, oh, your name could still be written in the death note.
And then he kills him.
And then he writes it, yeah.
Panicking.
Which makes sense. That makes sense as a Ryuk move.
Also, it gets unbelievably shorter because they had to have two actors such as such a long musical. And it's like, the first one was taller. So the second one is just like, it's not that much shorter, but I like it. He's shorter. Very cool.
2 actors, that's crazy.
They did that for musical. They did it for Tom Sawyer. They had 3.
Was a school play.
Yeah, but this is a
2-hour musical. That was because 3 people wanted to be Tom
scene.
Sawyer.
Light is in every single scene.
I can see why it would be necessary, but it's crazy. Wait, you have intermissions.
Most Japanese, and I'm a racist.
How could you notice that one was shorter then?
They're already so short. Picture of all of them together. I was like, oh wow, he just gets shorter.
But but that's what you have intermissions for, though. It's a rest for the actors as much as the viewers.
There was no intermission.
Japan doesn't know how to do musicals. That's what they were missing. That's so dumb. Instead of changing anyways, you would change the actor during an intermission anyways. That's crazy. Do you think that's the only musical Japan has ever done?
Maybe it's possible.
Other than the Attack on Titan musical.
Is that a thing?
Definitely. No, I don't think so. Well, I guess we've learned a lot today. We talked about the important things that we learned as well.
Shitting.
Wiping and shitting.
Those are 2 different points.
Zoos. Femboys.
Economy.
The economy.
Flaws of capitalism.
Death Note the musical. The important stuff. We didn't get to the Biden presidency. We didn't get to the coronavirus talk. But those they're less. We started with the most important, and we just didn't get to those yet. Ain't that a bitch?